सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं Hari Om. Yes, can someone recollect what is it that we have seen last? Yes, please. Form the link and we can go ahead. Yes, please. Anybody, if you can recollect? Hari Om Prakash ji, Hari Om Akhilesh ji, Namaste. Yes, can someone recollect anything that we have seen? So we go ahead. We're coming to the last part of what is the 13th Adhyay. Yes, please. Anyone? Anything. It may not be exactly what we have heard, whatever you recollect. Anybody? Please feel free to unmute. Anyone? Yes. Is it Badiranji? Yes, sir. Okay.
Only two
Yes,
things. Purusha and Prakriti we have seen. Purusha is inactive and Prakriti is active.
Okay, ji.
Let Om Prakash ji continue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Badiranji. Om Prakash ji, you want to continue?
Audible, sir.
Yes, you are audible. No, there's a break. There's a break, Om Prakash ji. There is a network drop. Yes, we're not able to hear you. I'll just mute you. Yes, Hari Om.
Hello.
Yeah, I'll just mute you, Om Prakash ji. There is a network drop. Yes, the screen is also frozen.
I'm traveling.
All right, ji. Then maybe we will I will mute you right now because the voice is breaking. All right, ji. Hari Om. Yes. Can someone recollect? Anybody? Yes, we have to form the link, so we can go ahead with that. Yes, please. Yes, Kulkarni ji, would you like to add? I think your TV is on. Yeah. Yes, please. We really cannot proceed unless we form the link. This is one requirement. So I request anyone. Yes, please.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Prakash ji, today I think we will just wait. Your network is very weak, so your voice is breaking. We're unable to understand your words. Hari Om. All right, then I want to continue. So if nobody is going to recollect, I will only recollect. No difficulty in that. So we saw what was the Kshetra, Kshetrajna and the Vibhag. We talked about the duality of the Purusha and the Prakriti, the cosmic dance of Shiva and Shakti, of the one divine and the counterpart. This dance is at play in the universe, in the world.
आता 14वा अध्याय झाला 18 आहेत ना.
I am going to mute everybody. If you have anything to unmute, you can always raise your hand. All right. Thank you. So this Purusha and Prakriti, they are involved in a cosmic dance. Krishna is saying here, he says that it is the one Purusha who is eternal, who is inert, who is quiet, who is present in the universe. And Prakriti is what we can say the executive part of the consciousness of the divine. Prakriti is participating in all the words, in all the actions. somebody who can understand this play of Purusha and Prakriti, such a person is able to liberate himself. Krishna says this in the next set of shlokas also, that this self is inside of our perishable frame, our sharira, which is what we can say, having its limitations. We have seen that our body goes through janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. All these limitations are there. Well, inside of this limited body, inside of this limited sharira, which is shara, which will get destroyed, there is an imperishable Atman or the Paramatman. So Krishna is saying that. We stopped at shloka number 31. Anybody wishes for any clarification, or we'll continue from the 32nd shloka? Hariom. Yes, can I continue? All right, fine. Thank you. So 32nd shloka, it begins this way. Yadha sarvagatam saukshmyad akasham nopalipyate sarvatra vasthito dehe tathatma nopalipyate. Like the sky that stretches across all of space, and its subtleness limits not its all-pervading embrace, so too is a self that in all life form persists, unaffected within the physical body. This self exists. So this, like the Akash Tattva, look at the sky. How is the sky? The sky is vast. Sky spreads everywhere, but it's also subtle. It's not what we can say, which is Jada, or what we can say Sthula. If anybody has gone to hill stations, you might have got the experience. Suddenly they are surrounded by what you say, the sky is just around me. I can feel it. But children try to go and catch it. But can you catch it in the hand? No, you cannot. Well, it is like that. Krishna is saying like that. This Atman is present in all living beings, unaffected within the physical body. Within this Sharira, this Atman is existing. Krishna goes on. Yatha prakashayat yekaha kritsnam lokam mimam ravihi kshetram kshetri tatha kritsnam prakashayati bharata. O Arjuna, just as a singular sun's light is adequate to make the whole of earth bright, so too is a field illumined complete. With the knower of the field's light, it is replete. So Krishna says this, just like one Surya is sufficient for brightening our entire galaxy, just like that, this Kshetra is filled with the light of the Kshetrajna. It is everywhere. I think we already saw in the starting of this Adhyay that there is a hidden light in every Kshetra. Our sadhana is probably for manifesting it. So we go to the last shloka of this Adhyay. Kshetra Kshetrajnayorevam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye viduryanti te param. With the inner eye of knowledge, those who perceive about the field and its knower, they can conceive, and of the individual's liberation from Prakriti's dominion, they attain with the Supreme a complete merger and union. This inner eye of knowledge, can someone recollect where we have seen this? You can just unmute if you wish to, if you can. Inner eye of knowledge, Jnana Chakshu. Have we come across somewhere? Yes. If yes, where? Kulkarni ji is pointing at the forehead in between Brewer Madhye. So, okay, that was one place which was talked about Dhyana. But Jnana Chakshu, or this, what is this? Where have we come across in the Gita? Anybody?
Here,
Yes, Sharda ji?
here in this 20th sloka, Yaha Paschati, Saha Paschati.
Yeah, Pashyati
inner
Sahab. Okay. That is the opening of the inner eye. And how did Arjuna perceive the Vishwarupa? Sharda ji.
Oh,
Divyam
That was
dadami
not
te
in this-
chakshu. That time also
Yeah.
Krishna opened up. He said, I'll open that inner eye. Meaning, I think
Yeah,
even...
inner eye.
okay. Yes, yes. Thank you very much, Maji. Yes. So this Jnana Chakshuhu, there is an inner eye. What does this mean? That means that consciousness, when it is awakened, we can perceive something which is beyond what we are seeing. I think many times in life, we go through the same experience, it doesn't make a difference. But suddenly one fine day, some dot connects and suddenly same place, same person, somebody comes and you say hi and you just walk around and suddenly you remember something. And that gives you a completely different perspective or insight. Something like that, when the inner eye opens, a complete realization takes place. This person whose eye is opened is called a yogi only. And this yogi is liberated. Liberated from what? The domination of Prakriti. Prakriti is having a stamp. Prakriti is controlling all of us. Where the yogi is able to free from this trap and become one with the divine. My question is, are we bound by Prakriti? If yes, why and how? Anybody? With this Adhyay is over. We enter into the next Adhyay, which is the 14th Adhyay, where Krishna is saying, when you get that perception, you become free. What is this domination of Prakriti? Anybody? Yes. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes, we are dominated by this Prakriti in the sense, like all these qualities, whatever we have, they are dominating us. But still, we can, by awareness and by practice, Abhyasa Yoga and continuous practice, we can overcome all these lower nature qualities. Am I right?
Example of any Badinanji, just for a little more clarity, what type of qualities do you suggest? Means you are talking about
Like
which?
anger, desire,
Okay.
hatred,
Desire, anger.
and
Okay.
like I don't like somebody, but now as Lord Krishna has said, if you can see there's oneness in everybody and you can see oneness in everything, then probably we are able to see different perspective, people with a
Absolutely.
different perspective.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Yes, that is one wonderful example. Anybody else would like to add to what Badrinathji has shared? Prakriti having a stamp on us. I don't want to do something, but Prakriti is making me do it. Anybody has got this? Yes. Anyone? Because the next chapter is going to be very practical. It is going to be about how Prakriti is establishing. Yes. Badrinathji wants to add something more?
I would like to add one thing. Now, this, you also said that sanskar. This sanskar, the moment you go on repeating something bad quality in you, it becomes stamped and a sanskar. And then it becomes very difficult to come out of its clutches. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so yes. Sanskaras, this is also something. In our sansara, there is a sanskara taking place. So one by one, our actions, they have consequences. Then we get what into a kind of a habit and we are not in control of it. It keeps happening. It becomes part of our routine. Sometimes with sadhana, you can erase them. What you can say, the unlearning process, sometimes it's very important to learn something new. You have to unlearn the old, something like that. These sanskaras also have to be what are jada, they have to be what we can say eliminated. The knots have to be loosened, otherwise we cannot go ahead. And Prakriti has its role, what we have seen. A yogi is able to stand quietly and observe the play of forces. We saw yesterday about people, interactions in meetings, in functions or public gatherings. Many times a good mood is developing, something nice is happening. Suddenly, one person comes in and spoils the entire atmosphere. How many of us have experienced that? Yes? Anybody? Everything is going nice, and then one person. Anybody has experience like that? Yes? If you can unmute. Yes? Anyone?
Yeah, I think plenty of times. It happens plenty of times.
Plenty of time, Shivaji.
Yeah.
But do you sometimes see a pattern that the person who is creating disturbance in one place is more likely prone to create in one more place also? Have you observed that?
Like in separate meetings, yes.
Yes, isn't it? Now this person is speaking, that person is likely to. So we can say there are constructive forces at play. There are non-constructive forces
Yep.
also. Always a game of forces at play. The yogi is able to watch the game and is able to act consciously on it, ensuring what is right goes ahead. All right, I think with this we are ready to enter what is the next adhyay. As usual, I'll share the illustration, after which we can begin. Yes, anybody? Can you describe what you see here? Excuse me. Yes. If you can unmute and describe, we'll quickly start this Adhyay, which is the Adhyay number 14. Yes, please. Pradhanji also. Everybody can just unmute without asking.
Hello.
Yes. Okay,
These
Pradhanji, then
three gunas.
Shivaji and Dipali. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
These three gunas,
restless.
they dominate us.
The
Hello.
three gunas dominate
They
us.
dominate
Okay.
us. They dominate us, and when we are overwhelmed by this rajas and tamas, the sattvic guna goes down, and then we become demonic in nature. So we should practice more and more of sattvic and reduce tamas and rajas gradually with time and
Okay.
awareness, and then we can see our inner beauty, and real good qualities in us will come out to the fore.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So the three gunas we are seeing here. Okay. Shivaji would like to add, and then probably I think it Prakash ji after Shivaji. And
it's
Dipali ji.
basically-
Yeah.
It's basically the three gunas that are shown here, but the illustration depicts Rajas as mostly anger or frustration and an aggressive
Yeah.
nature, and
Okay.
the tamas shows he's very unkempt, his clothes, his hair. So it's like the lazy nature is being depicted here, and the
Okay.
sattvic bhav is more yogic in nature. He's like in a meditative state,
Yeah.
and the speedometer shows that you have to go from that to increase your
we
speed.
can.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that you reach the sattvic stage and
That's-
try to reduce. There should be. I mean, it may not be entirely possible to do it in a go, but at least try gradually to increase your sattvic nature as against the tamas and rajas.
All right. Okay, Shivaji, that's a nice explanation. And if you see, select your nature. We have that ability to select probably. Means these gunas are there. There are three gunas. We have been introduced, but not in detail. This Adhyay is going to describe it. We have seen Rajas as a source of all the troubles because Arjuna had asked a question to Krishna. Why is it, if you are saying there is divine inside of everybody, what is the reason people are doing sin? Why are people going against their own folks? Why are they doing wrong things and bad things? That time Krishna replies, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajo Guna Samudbhavam. From Rajas, Kama and Krodha is coming. So that time we got introduced to Rajas. Other two, we have not yet seen so much. Even Rajas we have not seen. We'll be seeing it here. All right, Dipali ji, and then Om Prakash ji, your audio is working. I'll go to Dipali ji, then next Om Prakash ji. Yes, Dipali ji, would you like to add?
Hari Om.
Hari Om ji.
Here, sattva or sattvic gun is a goodness,
Yeah.
which give peaceful mind and peaceful living, and urdhva gati. Then rajas is the passion or desire or the restlessness, anger.
Okay.
And tamas is the totally ignorance, and which increases the laziness.
Okay.
You should.
Yes, Dipali ji. All right, ji. Thank you. So there's something about these three gunas. They are somehow connected with Prakriti. We will see how it is connected. But we have seen one thing about Prakriti. Devi Hyesha Gunamayir Maya. Maya is told as Gunamayir Maya. Meaning Maya is operating through these gunas only. Means there are three gunas, like we have mostly three common operating systems. I'm not supporting any operating system. There may be more also, but for a reference, you see there is a Mac OS, there is a Windows, and there's a Linux. So most of the devices work on one of these three. Sometimes people have dual systems also, or even triple, depending on the ability of the programmer or the person who's using the device. Well, like that, Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva are the operating systems of Prakriti in our world. We are functioning according to these gunas. We'll have to study the gunas in this Adhyay. These gunas are probably responsible for even trapping us into Maya. We will go and Om Prakash ji wants to add something. You were adding, after which we'll start the Adhyay. Hari Om, Om Prakash ji, if your audio is all right, we could hear you. And we'll go.
My voice will not be audible.
Yes. Fine, sir.
I have net
All right.
problem. I have net problem.
All right, Ji, fine. Then we'll continue. We'll go into the 14th Adhyay. Hari Om.
Yeah, I would like to add something actually.
Yes, Vinita Ji.
They said as you have the gun, matlab the nature of the person, they may show tamas nature or rajas nature or sattva nature, and same way, the foods also, the kind of food which we eat or take in, it affects
Okay.
these three gunas in our body. Like, I mean, if we are vegetarian or more of vegetables and fruits and all that, so it helps to improve your sattva gun. And they say garlic.
We'll
and
probably see that in the later Adhyay of the Gita, the Anna, no?
Huh.
Because
Huh.
after these are today, we are going to be introduced to these three,
Huh.
and this will not leave us till the last. 18th
Ji.
Adhyay also, we will see the three gunas coming.
So that is what I have generally little bit I have read about.
Yes,
So
Ji.
the
Yes,
food,
yes, absolutely.
food also influences the body and mind.
Food,
And
our
the
thinking, our thinking, our way of perceiving things, our actions, our karma, even our tapa, our dana, our so many actions.
Yes.
Everything is governed by these gunas. Let us see how this Adhyay begins. We will. Yes, somebody wants to add something. Most welcome. Is it?
Yeah, actually, from this illustration, I felt ki our Vyaktimatva is composed of three things, three gunas, tamas, rajas, and sattva. This meter, the central thing, it's showing ki it's asking select your nature. So this prakriti or sanskars which we are gaining throughout our life, we can incline towards sattva nature or sattva guna by reducing the throwing tantrums or getting angry or having tamas gunas.
You are on mute mode.
Yes, yes, all right. So I think, thank you very much, Ji. And I think overall everybody is talking about Sattva Guna, the benefits of Sattva Guna. Rajas doesn't look so good. Tamas, definitely not good. But can we completely eliminate these gunas? Means Rajas, is it completely bad? Or does it have some value? Or can we say we can, like I think in Ayurveda also there are these three doshas, isn't it? Anybody has heard of it? Kapha, Vata and Pitta. Can you take out Kapha completely? The person will stop existing only. So this aspect of three, they are in a balance when equilibrium is there. Combination. So what is these gunas? Because right now, Krishna in the last Adhyay has talked about Purusha and Prakriti. Yogi is not bound by Prakriti's domination. Prakriti is controlling everybody. In one of the Krishna's Butter Kids batch, one student had asked a very brilliant question. He asked the teacher, what is the meaning of Krishna is not asking us to get detached. He's asking us to get detached from everything, not have, fluctuations. Is Krishna wanting us to be a robot? Is what he asked. And it was a very good question for the teacher. And the teacher also was like, this question needs to be looked at properly. So she contacted Damleji. All the teachers had a beautiful discussion because that boy was also a son of one of the teachers only. And he said, Krishna is wanting everybody to become robots by asking everybody to do sadhana, not have any expression, not like this, not like that. Then Damliji gave a very beautiful answer. He said, what makes you think you are not a robot already? We are already functioning. Prakriti is making us function in a particular way only, isn't it? Children don't get their food. Then they get all angry. Now, are they taught to get angry or they are getting angry naturally? It is happening. Our entire life, we are already being governed by Prakriti. We are absolutely like what we can say puppets in the hand of Prakriti. Sadhana is probably for coming out of this trap, which can be called Maya also. That is why we have to do that. This Adhyay, Krishna is now talking about Prakriti's gunas. Let us see, we will begin without much delay. The 14th Adhyay of the Bhagavad Gita. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajnatva Munayah Sarve Param Siddhi Mitogataha. Once more to you, I shall declare and lend. What is the peak of knowledge? that man can ascend. This paramount gnosis that the liberated sages have reached, by which the boundaries of mortal perfection have been breached. He says, I will tell you this high knowledge by which yogis got liberated. Has anybody seen from close these yogis? Anybody has got a chance to have watched a Hatha yogi or someone doing something remarkable, which is suprahuman or something beyond what we can understand? Or have you heard somebody or you've seen somewhere? Anyone? Because yogis with their siddhis, they start reaching what levels of what we can understand. This is the maximum possible. But no, a Hatha yogi is there in the Himalayas wearing almost no clothes only, at temperatures which will give any ordinary human being hypothermia. But this yogi is calm as a, what we can say, peaceful and calm, and is happily doing his sadhana. Sometimes their skin becomes powerful like Vajra. Different aspects. This is just one marga of yoga, Hatha yoga. There's Raja yoga also, there's Tantra yoga also, there's so many other yogas. But Krishna is telling, I will lend you that secret. My one question is, why do you think Krishna is always lending secrets again and again? Once you say, I'm telling you a secret is fine. But again he is told, Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram, Idam Uttamam. When he talked about Rajavidya, that time also he said. Then when he talked about, I'll tell you. What do you think could be the logic here? Anybody? Yes, anyone?
As Arjun or we other people, they are unaware of the truth. So it means whatever Krishna is telling is, I mean, those all are secrets.
There are secrets which are sometimes available in the world, but they are hidden by Maya. It is a very big secret, which is what we call, sometimes we say open secret, isn't it? Everybody knows it. That's not a secret. But no, here Maya is making things which are in front of us also missing. I think many times we worry, where is my key? I go searching for the key for an important meeting and you don't find it. You were having it with you just until 5 minutes ago. Suddenly you are not able to see, then you go running around for half an hour, you're searching for that key and you feel now I'm going to miss that meeting, and somehow you take your head out of it and then you suddenly see, oh, the key was here only. What is the meaning of this? When something was there blocking your perception, it's in front of you. And sometimes if you want to, it is said, if you want to keep a secret very, very perfect and gopaniya, or you want to keep it very safe, leave it out in the open. Nobody will come and see it. Only that's what Krishna has done in this Srishti. So many secrets are there in nature, in our Prakriti. It has been lent out in the open. People can learn from nature also, isn't it? Looking at different plants, looking at animals, looking at so many things in the universe. There are secrets there, and Krishna is saying, I'll lend you one more. Because this world is a mystery with a lot of secrets which have to be explored, which have to be realized. And then we can experience what we can say, a whole new world, a beautiful place, a magical experience of what is a human life. The full potential of a human life has to be realized. And the only way we can do it is by walking on the path of yoga, where you can actually taste the best experience. Otherwise, karma, bandhana, sanskara, jada sanskara is leading to another action, and vikarma, all these things, it just goes on. It's like time keeps ticking, but the soul doesn't go ahead. So here he says, this is the peak of knowledge by which the great yogis got liberated, and they reached what we can say, they breached the standards of perfection. What is possible for ordinary human being? Look at Vyasa, Ved Vyas, compiler of this entire Rig Veda. How is it? How did one young man decide to start compiling the entire Rig Veda? Now it is considered impossible, isn't it, for any ordinary human being? But he did some sadhana. He had a tapasya, he had a tapa behind him, which gave him that strength to perform what we call miraculous tasks. So something like that, we also must understand, and Krishna is going to share that. He goes on further, he says, Idam jnanam upashritya mama sadharmya magataha sargepi nopajayante pralayena vedhanti cha. By taking shelter in this knowledge, they have obtained the highest wisdom, which in my oneness can be attained. No more are they reborn in the cycle of destruction and creation, nor are they agitated or confused by the universal extinction. Pralaya is also not disturbing such a person, and the person is not getting trapped, not in what they say, a cycle of punarapi janama, punarapi marana. Why? If we are not able to perceive beyond our birth, in our birth only sometimes we get some experiences. Again, same thing happened. Again, then what happens? You feel, if something has to be done, I'm having the same bad experience again and again. It's like a cycle. It's coming back to me. That means it is high time to bring about a change. If you don't do it, you are going to go in that cycle. But Krishna is saying these yogis have got liberated from those samsara cycles. They have got the great knowledge by taking refuge in this. They're not bothered about this, getting trapped, and they're also not afraid of universal extinction or pralaya. How many of us are afraid of pralaya? Anybody? Yes? What will happen to the world? Anybody? Yes or no? It's actually just a binary only. Or if somebody has a sometimes yes, sometimes no, also is fine. Yes, pralaya. Anybody?
Everybody is afraid of pralaya.
Everybody is afraid of pralaya. Arvindji is saying. Okay. Shivaji?
No.
No, you are
Because-
saying, okay.
Because we have never experienced it, and it's somewhere, we think it's somewhere way beyond.
Okay. So you're saying
I
no.
don't agree as well.
Rekhaji, yes?
I don't agree as well. There's nothing to be afraid. We don't know what
There's nothing
it
to
is.
be afraid. Okay. So these are what we can say. These are perspectives. What will happen sometimes when you think from an individual perspective, if we may not understand suddenly, but when you look at a global perspective, where is the world heading? What is happening? Consciousness is getting lowered and lowered. Man is destroying nature. Everything is going, the scale is tilting in the wrong direction. Climate change. I think lots of pralay was going on, isn't it? They had given this much destruction will take place. There was 2012 also, if anybody remembers. Yes, anybody remembers the pralay which was going to take place in 2012?
Yes,
Yes.
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 2012. There was a
Yes.
movie
We watched
also,
that movie
and
also.
Maya Sanskriti,
Yes, different
Maya,
calendars. I
Mayans,
remember
they
that
had.
time it was, yes, absolutely. And my juniors, actually my college was over then, but my juniors were just in their final year. They told me, so they told that we are now going to party because the world is going to end anyway. So they did not prepare at all. Then a French couple came from France. They had come and they were having a restaurant. They had a big interview with Damleji. One about 2012, what is going to happen? 2012 is coming next year. What is going to happen in the world? Everybody is afraid. So this aspect, this fear comes into our head because of our sometimes insecurities, sometimes our not clear understanding of things. Well, a yogi is taking refuge in the great knowledge, in the high knowledge, which is liberating. Means there's no panic. There's no panic inside because, isn't it said, Jako rakhe saya mar sake na koi. If the divine is watching, if God be for us, who can be against us? There was a beautiful saying in my school on the, what we can say, the board. This quote was always there. So, all right, let us continue. That knowledge Krishna is sharing here. Mama yonir mahat brahma tasman garbham dadamyaham sambhavaha sarvabhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Oh Arjuna, the worldly creation is my womb vast, within which the seed of life I infuse and cast, from which arise the beings of the mortal realm. For all the living creatures, I am the Creator Supreme. This world is what? It is the womb of the creation. It is the divine who is planting his consciousness in this Srishti, is what he is saying. And from this consciousness which is planted in Srishti, life forms are appearing. I am the creator, and the creation is the product of my manifestation, is what he's saying. Excuse me. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtayaha sambhavanti yaha tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradaha pita. for all the wombs in which the living are generated. Oh Arjuna, I am the womb wherein they are created. And all the life forms on earth I have fathered from my seed. All their life energies they have gathered, meaning the entire energy of the Srishti. This is something coming from the divine. If you think of it, actually, it's sometimes, I think we have seen earlier, Ashcharyavat Pashyati Kaschitena. Some people try to analyze it and they get surprised and they understand. Ashcharyavat Vadati Tathaiva Chanyat. Sometimes people speak about it and then they say, yes, this is what the intelligent design is there behind creation. I can understand it. Look at all of things, how they are falling in place. And then there are others, it falls on one ear and goes from the other ear. Still, it doesn't make any difference. But whatever it is, here Krishna is saying that I am the seed, I am the bija from which this entire Srishti has come into existence. One neurologist was telling the same thing actually. Close to his retirement, he was talking about, I don't understand what is it that is leaving the body which is making me declare the patients as now they will not be revived anymore. He says, I am seeing the vital signs, I'm observing the all parameters, I'm watching the monitor, but I know now something has left. But what is that something? It's not a physical thing is what he's saying. Yes, something is there, something which is beyond my perception. And this is somebody who has really dedicated his life to, he's got lots of degrees. His name is, his degrees are more than his name. But this was his question. This was a mystery. People don't understand. What is it? Well, here Krishna is saying it is sometimes very easy. My mother says, I am your mother. That's enough for me. I'll not say I need to do now a genetic test. I have to check. I want to see really if she's my mother. Or I need to go to the hospital records and then ensure if I was not exchanged at birth. It's all not required because this is my Shraddha. So with Shraddha, certain things are very easily available. It actually helps you cross over the intellectual barrier. Sometimes the limitations of logic do not allow us to proceed. That time Shraddha is like what we can say springboard. It can quickly take us ahead beyond what we can say the lower circles. But here Krishna is saying, yes, this energy of mine is powering the universe in Prakriti also. And now the three gunas are being introduced. Sattvam rajas tama iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibadnanti mahabahu dehe dehinam avyayam. Rajas, tamas and sattva are the qualities procreated. Threefold in nature, they have been created. Oh Arjuna, the immutable self is by them bound, governing the body and consciousness, they are found. So Rajas, Tamas and Sattva, let's not underestimate them. Krishna is saying these are the qualities which are present, threefold qualities in nature. Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, we're going to be introduced to them. Well, the spirit is also bound by this is what Krishna is saying, meaning the three gunas are binding that spirit. Which spirit is this? The Atman, who is inside, who is supposedly so all-powerful. Meaning this is the Atman which cannot be wetted by waters, which cannot be dried by winds, which cannot be burnt by fire, which cannot be cut by weapons. But this eternal Atman is bound. Best example we can think of is Hanuman, isn't it? In Lanka. He allowed himself to get tied. Something like that is Atman is allowing himself or itself to get tied by these three gunas. The three gunas are binding in the sense they are not allowing free expression of the Atman which is hidden. In Sri Aurobindo's yoga, it's called Chaitya Purush or psychic being. They talk about releasing that, and it comes out in moments when I think artists can experience that. Sometimes researchers also in their moments of research, suddenly what people use different words. They call flow state, other different names. Well, whatever it is, it's just an expression of the inner spirit. But most of the time, this inner spirit is bound by what? The three gunas. Tattva guna. First, Krishna tells us, he says, Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakasham anamayam sukha sangena badnati jnana sangena chanagha. Sattva is the quality that reflects in serenity. In Shanti, the serenity, in all of that, you can identify Sattva. Sattva is the quality that reflects in serenity. element by virtue and an immaculate purity. This quality produces in man no disease or affliction. O Arjuna, it expresses through happiness, and knowledge is fascination. So what is this sattvic quality? Sattva is the quality which is found in serenity, a person enjoying the peace. Sometimes people cannot tolerate. He said, no, there was one friend of mine who would study for exam. He would have to listen to heavy metal music and only then he could study. He would have, and it would be so loud that it would come out from, I would be sitting next to him and I am having trouble. When I did combined studies, I had to tell him, boss, you please go sit elsewhere or I'll go elsewhere because your music is disturbing me. But for him to get into concentration also, he wanted very heavy music. Quietude was not something which he could anytime accept. That was his nature. Well, sattva is, tendency is that only the person always likes to remain in that state, illumined by virtue. Meaning some people, they always have virtues. They keep following virtuous paths only. It's not like they are being told or they're reading some scripture which is then instructing them that I must do this or that. No, it is by nature. He was a friend in my class. I tried to irritate him and I failed. I had to surrender to him in school because you're not getting irritated only. I feel very bad. So much I tried to get a reaction from him. Always calm, always peaceful. Well, we can say that's a sattvic nature only. So this, it is illumined by virtue and an immaculate purity. Means Shuddha. Hridaya is clear from inside. This quality produces in man no disease or affliction. This is interesting. Sattvic quality is prolonging life. How is it? I think we got Vinitaji's some inputs today about diet also. Sattvic quality person will naturally choose that kind of diet also. And there are other aspects which we will see. But what does a doctor say when a person has hypertension? Anybody? You go to a doctor. Of course, he gives the medicines that is different. But what does he say? Anyone? You've heard of your friends or someone for hypertension? Yes, Gayatri ji?
Reduce salt.
Reduce?
Salt.
Okay,
Yeah.
reduce salt.
Reduce
Achha, okay.
salt and reduce anxiety.
Anxiety, tension mat lena, as if tension is coming from door delivery, tension. No, it's not like that. But they say become sattvic indirectly. They don't know what is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, but they are asking us to become sattvic. Because if you are sattvic, have you heard of a person who is that way always calm and peaceful, having a panic attack in his calm state? No. When you are calm and peaceful, you can actually deal with things. When you lose that calm only, you are going to have these troubles. Arjuna is now having his, what we can say, like in the first Adhyay we were seeing, if some of my medical friends were there, they would have read a case sheet. Borderline depression for Arjuna, get him admitted now. Because he's having anxiety disorder, he's showing delusion. Look at all that he's saying, he's having fever suddenly, then he's talking about something about future generation. Well, all of this is what? Clear classic case of gunas overpowering him. He's not having sattva guna. If he had sattva guna, he would have been Krishna, Arya, Vadatu, tell me what I should do. He would have just gone to Krishna. Krishna would have said, Yuddha Swabharata, he would have said Astu and over. But no, he had his gunas working. So the gunas were creating a trouble. When you have sattvic guna, you are likely to be more peaceful. This is, excuse me, probably I have to also include my sattvic guna, so I will not have cough. But whatever it is, this sattvic guna is going to reduce what we can say disease and affliction. And it expresses through what? Happiness. Through ananda. That soul searches for ananda and experiences ananda in little things. And also a fascination for knowledge. Now this is something, has anybody experienced the joy of learning something new or a fascination? Does it give happiness? Anyone? Learning something? Yes? Then we can say that is a sattvic nature only. Because that is what is making a person go on the path. It motivates a person further. But what about rajas? Rajo ragat makam vidhi Krishna sanga samudbhavam tanyabadnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. Rajas is that which ignites in one a passionate fire. A strong feeling of liking, longing and desire. O Arjuna, it is born out of a position for things. Through attachments to works, it binds the self in all beings. So what is Rajas? Rajas is that force which creates a fire inside of a person. I must do this. This work has to happen. Sattvic person will say, yes, this work has to happen. But Rajasic person says, this has to happen. It means completely different story. That person will be jumping up and down, continuously running around. I have to make this manifest. It will happen. It should happen. We cannot control all the forces of nature. We can only control ourselves. But Rajasic person doesn't understand it. Strong liking and strong desire. You see, ask a Sattvic person, what do you want? If he comes to our home also, would you like tea or coffee? You say, chalega, kuch bhi chalega, or maybe tea chalta hai or coffee chalta hai. That's fine. A Rajasic person will respond, I want only coffee. That too, coffee must have like this only. Now this is very strong liking, very strong desires. That is attaching a person. Very strong preferences. Sometimes people's lives are also governed by these choices only. I will not go to that place because this place is like this, no matter what. One father got angry and he fought with the lover of his daughter because of some small aspect which that guy did not do anything wrong. But his nature was Rajasic. So strong that now 7 years, 8 years, he's gone, and in a state of Rajas, he spoke so many things passionately that you are like this, you are this type of people and everything. Both the children decided we are not going to get married. And now 7, 8 years, they have not got married, and the father is still not able to lose that Rajasic nature and bring about a change, at least one step back. Look at these two children. Well, we don't understand how little things in our life get governed by these gunas, but it makes a lot of difference. Experiences also. Sometimes we don't understand how our gunas are empowering, or, sometimes they liberate us, sometimes they bind us also. If you see, it is born of a possession of things. I want this. This must belong to me. Possession of things can become possession of people also. Objects, things, people, everything. I want this is my man. That person must behave this way. Or this person is my friend. She must behave this way. Then only she is my friend. Now, can a relationship be successful this way, or it will be a toxic one, isn't it? It cannot go ahead. That is exactly what it causes attachment. Attachment to works, it binds the self. So earlier we saw Sattva is also getting bound, but Sattva is having a different, it is binding in happiness, in knowledge. We'll see, it means one thing we are understanding, Sattva also has some limitations. Rajas also has probably little more limitations. Rajas is having this attachment, strong liking, strong desires. They govern a person. But tamas, what about tamas? Tamasva jnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramada lassa nidrapihi tannibadnat bharata. But tamas is a quality that creates a delusion and traps all beings by ignorance's illusion. O Arjuna, the mortals are by it confounded. In laxity, laziness, and sleep, it is founded. Krishna says, in laziness, laxity, and sleep, tamas is binding a person. He says, alasyasya hi manushyanam sharirastho maharipu, biggest enemy is laziness only. All the talent inside of a person can get wasted if the person is lazy. What's the use? Oh, no, I'll do it later. I've seen friends prepare for exam. Now we have 1 month. No need to worry now. Then we have 1 week. No need to worry now. Then we have 10 hours. No need to worry now. Until it became 2 hours, and then this person comes and he prepares. He prepared the wrong subject and came. The same subject was there in 2 different fields. He has, instead of thermodynamics, he started studying fluid mechanics rules. And he comes to the exam hall, and then everybody is talking something else. He says, why are you all talking this? He said, you have taken a wrong, you have studied the wrong thing. We are not studying fluid dynamics in this chapter, but same topic is appearing in both subjects. Look at that. How much laziness is there that this person throughout the semester did not even bother trying to find out what is the core of the subject. So he did not even realize what he is doing. Well, like that, tamas is binding a person. It creates a delusion. It traps a person in illusion. Mortal is confounded by it, and then laziness, laxity, and sleep. So in alasya is what is throwing a person in tamas. Problem of delusion is You don't know it is wrong, isn't it? When you are in delusion, who can liberate you? It's very difficult. Guru only can. Ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya. Why they say chakshurun melitam yena tasmai shri guruve namah? Meaning that Guru is opening the eyes. Otherwise, in delusion, the person will not understand. It's like yesterday we saw. If I'm in a cage, but I don't think I'm in a cage. I say it's a very comfortable place. I've got all the food what I need. I'm getting everything I need. Even if Krishna comes and says, I will free you, I'll say, go away, Krishna. I'm happy here. Why are you trying to free me? You are the one who is trapped. You're not understanding the joy. Here, come here. You also get trapped here. Because that is delusion. Delusion is what is more common in tamas. It's actually quite dangerous as well. Because tamas does not allow us to see the truth. Sometimes if we are in a delusion throughout life, what's going to happen? We'll not know only. We'll not know. Many times people go through lives without even thinking about purpose of life, direction of life, meaning of life. Everything is just going around. Life's happening. And then afterwards they wonder, why did I not think about this before? And that time they don't even know what to think. So then Bhagavad Gita comes to the rescue. So that is why we have to understand all three gunas. They are there. Rajas, Tamas and Sattva. We will see this. Krishna says, Sattvam sukhe sanjayati raja karmani bharata jnanam avrutya tu tamaha brahmade sanjayat yuta. By happiness, nature sattva is bound. Means even sattva, which we are considering good, one of the nicest of the three gunas, if we want to say, but even that is bound by its happiness or its fascination of a particular way. So in happiness, sattva is bound. And by desires and actions, Rajas person wants to do actions. If that person doesn't do action, then the person gets disturbed. If there's no work, the person will start re-cleaning everything again, moving things from left to right, again right to left. Some action must keep going on. Otherwise, this person is not at peace. Well, that is a problem in the personality. Then that is the binding. It is almost on the verge of OCD. It has to be corrected. So here, Rajas is ensnared by these desires and actions. Oh Arjuna, but Tamas is attached to negligence, and its cloak of ignorance cages the intelligence. So all three gunas, we are seeing they have some limitations as well. These three gunas, Sattva, Raja, Tamas, have we seen them anywhere? Yes, in people. If yes, can someone just tell me something so we can look at it? And we'll go ahead. Yes, please. Yes. Sattva, have you seen this nature somewhere? If yes, where? Same way Rajas, same way Tamas. In the children's class, when we stay with children, my sister, she is Rajasic. My sister, she is Tamasic. I am very Sattvic. That is what a student says. But this natures, have we seen anybody? Yes, Deepali ji. Yes, please.
In politics,
Okay.
Some political leaders are totally tamasic in nature.
They don't care. They don't care what happens to the praja. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
And in some kalakar or film actor or actresses, they are totally Rajasic.
They're very Rajasic. Okay.
And some yogis, Sadguru, and calm, quiet, peaceful living persons are having a maximum sattvic guna in their life.
Okay, they are having sattvic guna. Does our guna also change? Monday morning, we feel tamasic before going to work.
Yes.
Isn't it? So maybe all three gunas are inside of us only. Now, if instead of 8:30, if we had Bhagavad Gita class in the afternoon time, say 2:30 p.m., and all of you are given curd rice, tair sadam as they call it in Pondicherry, what is going to happen? After curd rice, everybody gets this feeling of what we can say. It has a soporific effect, isn't it? So then tamasic tendency comes in. So like that in our life, it is a dynamic movement. There are moments, suddenly something happens. Aise kyun bataya mujhe? Now I will not spare this person. That is Raja speaking. what is speaking in us, we should understand, because it is speaking and it is controlling our life. It has a very powerful role. These three gunas, this is the stamp. This is, we can say blessing, we can say curse, whatever we want to say. Prakriti is binding us with these three gunas. If we become yogis, we are in peace with it, then we can understand how to use what. Otherwise, imagine if somebody is attacking your loved ones. Will you go and say, "Aisa mat karna, ye galat baat hai"? What is going to happen? There you will have to, Rajas also is required, isn't it? There you'll have to, but if Rajas is not controlled, it will again go in a different direction. So all three gunas are inside of us. There is a sattva, there is Rajas, and there is tamas. When we do sadhana, we become more conscious, we become more alert. Then we can see. Then some yogis are able to transcend. Means what they eat also doesn't have a bearing on their consciousness. What they are doing also, karma also is not. If you see Durvasa Rishi, was he calm, peaceful? Angry sage, like angry young man is angry Rishi, Durvasa. But Durvasa was divine. There was no doubt about that. Yet he had his gunas. So gunas are there in everybody. Gunas will function in nature as long as we are in Prakriti. This is the system of Prakriti. This is our world. We will have these. How do we come to terms with it is very important. Let us see. Krishna goes on. Rajas tamas cha vibhuya sattvam bhavati bharata rajasattvam tamaschaiva tamasatvam rajas tatha. O Arjuna, when the sattva qualities of nature lead, overpowered, the rajas and tamas components recede, meaning cultivate good. It's like encourage merits, eliminate parasites, something like that in our nature also. What is good, encourage the right things. Automatically, when sattva starts rising, all the other wrong components will recede, is what Krishna is saying. When sattva rises, rajas, tamas go down. Rajas rises when sattva and tamas are suppressed, meaning sattvic nature also is getting suppressed, tamasic nature is getting suppressed. That time rajas gets its freedom to put its head up. Immediately rajas comes in. If you look at our moments, which are worst moments in our fights, in our life memories, whatever bad fights we've had, you can see it was rajas which was coming in front. I should not have spoken this. This is a regret which many people have. I don't know why I spoke this. But what's the use? Karma has been done. After that, you cannot cry over spilt milk. It's something like that. Sometimes life will not give another chance to make amends also. And little actions sometimes have very strong consequences. So here we have to be conscious. Rajas rises when sattva and tamas are suppressed. And tamas grows when rajas and sattva are depressed. So these three gunas, tamas will go when there is no this rajasic. The fire also is almost very dull inside of the being. The good nature also is very, very low, or that person is not looking at it at all. Then such a person will be in a state of tamas. Same way, rajas will come when sattva and tamas are depressed. So it's like it's like a force game going on. One force rises, other two gets suppressed. One participant, Dr. Adhyay, she was a Vaidya. She shared her experience with some patients. She said she had a chance to work with the doctor in the hospital. It was an allopathic hospital, and they were giving treatment to where both types. It was Ayush approved institute, and they were having both Ayurveda as well as allopathy treatment going on. So this person with depression had come to her, and that guide was also very nice. He said, I saw a full change in the patient. Initially the patient was only tamasic, not responding at all. Only in a state of depression, sorrow, not talking to anybody. We would ask questions. He would not give case history also. Nothing of that sort. And would only cry, and there was nothing. And we were saying, this is very bad. How can we treat? We were not understanding. Then slowly the doctor started giving a treatment. Then there was a change. He started getting angry with everybody. He started shouting. He started shouting at even the doctors, the nurse, everyone. You people don't understand anything. You are all crazy people. You are money-minded fools. And God knows what he was speaking. When she went and told to the doctor said it's a good movement. It's a good change is what he told her. So she was also a new young intern. So she was happy. All right, something good is happening. Then she says this person was so changed afterward that he had almost like satsanga discussion with her, talking about high philosophy. Meaning now sattva guna has come. Means first there was tamas, then it moved to rajas. Then when sattva guna came, he became a different changed person, and then he even got discharged afterward. So these gunas are controlling us. Let us at least realize this. These gunas have a very strong control over us. How do we get over the control, or how do we find the release? Well, Krishna is going to offer us easy solutions. We don't need to worry about it. This Adhyay is just introducing, and solution also will be provided. And one thing, now that Krishna has introduced Rajas, Tamas and Sattva, this will not stop till the 18th Adhyay. These three gunas are going to come back in different ways again and again, because this is why this Adhyay is important. Krishna is saying, I am giving you the highest truth. This is a very practical aspect. This is something we must understand, gunas which are dominating us in our life without our knowledge only. How bad is that if we don't have knowledge? The moment we understand, then we can probably understand what needs to be done and what need not be done as well. Krishna goes on, we look at 3 more shlokas and we'll stop. Sarva dvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate jnanam yada tada vidyat vivruddham sattvametyuta. When the light barges open all the doors of the being, its luminous knowledge brings forth the awakening. Know that whenever there is such an activation, the quality of sattva is leading in domination. So many times people get sakshatkar, people get realizations, people get awakening, people get great perceptions. All this happens when this sattvic nature is there. When most likely it is likely to happen in the state of sattva. That is why yogis always try to maintain that nature. Yogis feel, I need to go there, I need to do dhyana, I need to understand, because that is the time. Gautam Buddha has talked about all of us being just one spark away from realization. One spark away. And one spark is enough, isn't it? For lighting, like one lamp, it can, even if the room is fully dark, when the lamp is lit, what's going to happen? There's going to be brightness. Something like that. This activation, whenever it happens, realization. If you study the yogis, if you see how Giri became Totakacharya, what happened then? He got a sudden inspiration. He composed what we can say this Totakashtaka. How was it? How did he compose? It is considered to be the most difficult meter in Sanskrit. Very difficult. Nobody, even the experts, will not try to wrestle with this meter. And what was he doing that time? He was probably washing the clothes of his teacher, Guru, in the river. Suddenly he got a realization, as a flow of inspiration, and he comes running, and then he just goes on, Guru Pungava Pungava Ketanate Mahito Parishat Kattar Rudhe. Again he goes on, Bhavashankara Deshikame Sharanam. He goes on continuously, and then he becomes a transformed person. We have seen Gita is giving us that opportunity, or sharing us the truth that all of us have the opportunity. We are not sinners. We can become realized. We can become liberated when the realization moment comes in. Valya, the hunter, Valya, the dacoit, can become the great Maharshi Valmiki. I think there's a lot of scope for us. And well, first thing, if you want to radically change your life, you want to radically transform what's happening, you are not happy with what is going on, it is also important actually. If you are not satisfied, then only you will go. Swami Vivekananda also was first disappointed. Without that, how will he understand? Why will he seek anything? So when you understand that, next stage is to cultivate Sattvic Guna, because that is when you are going to experience. Otherwise, that experience cannot come. This is unfortunately the way of world, way of Prakriti. Krishna goes on, Lobha pravritirarambha karmana mashamaha spruha rajasyetani jayante vivruddhe bharatarshava. When the Rajas quality is in an increasing state, O Arjuna, the following tendencies begin to escalate. Greed and restless desire to initiate action, and the being seeks fruits with an impulsive passion. When Rajas increases, then you start feeling greedy. I want to eat this, I want to get this, I don't want that person to receive it. I want to get more and more. All these thoughts, when they start coming inside, you can understand this is Rajas is going on in overdrive right now. And the person is continuously seeking fruits. Every action that is being done. One boy was being taught, you do some work, you get pocket money. That was what he was told. And that is the very common practice in the West. Do something, you get something in return. So his mother had asked, they're going through a bad time financially. His mother said, go help me do this work for me. He said, what will I get in return? How much money you are giving me? He asked his mother. The father is around. He sees that. Because now I need to teach this fellow. So he goes. He tells, this is the bill you have to pay to your mother. He says, why should I pay this? And look at all these things she is doing without asking anything in return. And you are having the nerve to do one small work, and for that you are asking this. Well, that is a Rajasic nature inside of an individual, which makes some person, greedy and lust for more and more. It happens at all places, not just in relations, also in work also. I want one project. Sometimes even the smartest people, they start trying to get all projects in their hand. Then they spoil everything. They don't do anything well. Their reputation also goes down the drain. So many times, so many people have got the good talent also gets wasted because of Rajas. Because I want my name. My name has to come. So then the person starts doing unethical things also. Then what's the use? All the good what you have earned will also go waste if you have Rajas. So that is Rajas. We stop with the next shloka, which is about tamas. Aprakasho pravritischa pramado moha evacha tamasyetani jayante vivruddhe gurunandana. Darkness, delusion, and an ignorant negligence, and a futile indulgence in actions of impotence. O Arjuna, whenever tamas is on the rise, all these nature's deformities in the being arise. When tamas rises, there's darkness in the personality of that individual only. Delusion. I want to end my life. I don't like anything. Everybody is selfish. Nobody cares about me. These are all tamasic thoughts. We have to understand this. These thoughts which are negative, mostly it is tamas which is filling inside of a person. This is there in the Srishti. Means the forces are like that in the world. If you see Pondicherry, there is a place which is considered the greatest sadhana was done by Sri Aurobindo, the mother, and it is supposed to be a very special place. So one side this force is very high sattva. As if to balance it, there is a very high tamas also. Suicide rates are very high also. Meaning, what is this? People who are not, and because one more reason why it is high is also because alcohol is cheapest. People may not know Pondicherry is known for Sri Aurobindo, but people know it is cheap alcohol. So many people come for that only. What is happening here? Tamas is putting a person into delusion, and the person is going, and then they start doing actions which are just futile. They are absolutely of no use. It's like what we can say in ignorance, nothing is going to happen. How many of us agree that ignorance is bliss? Anybody? Do we agree ignorance is bliss, or we disagree? If not, why not? Anyone? We will stop with this shloka. Ignorance is bliss or ignorance is not bliss? If yes, why? If no, why not? Anybody? Deepak ji is saying yes, it is bliss. Okay. Anybody else has a different opinion? Badrinath ji, yes?
Sometimes it is bliss.
Yes, bliss.
It is bliss. Sharda ji is also saying yes, it is bliss. Badrinath ji is also saying sometimes it is bliss.
Sometimes.
Which time, Sharda ji? Example.
Example, I don't know.
Doctor operated on wrong kidney out of ignorance. Can we say ignorance is bliss? Security guard goes to sleep for only 15 minutes. Correctly, when that time only, if he enters, what will happen? They'll sack the security guard. So every place where we see architect is building beautiful building, perfect design. Oops, I just forgot to put one truss. Can he say that it's okay? I just didn't put this one truss. Don't make a big deal. full building will fall down. There also it is not tolerable. Yes, Shivaji wants to add something. Yes, sir.
No, even if you take ignorance of spiritual matters like the Gita or anything, that itself is a dangerous thing, isn't it? Because you are
absolutely
destroying your life and you are having many more births.
Yes. Actually, it is something. It is not bliss. It is a what we can say commonly used phrase. Ignorance is bliss until karma bandhana comes and gives us consequences of that karma. Till then, it's like my sister when she would write exam when she was very young. Father would ask her, "How was your paper?" It's a full marks. Whether she's done it well or not, her answer would be full marks. So this full marks would remain full marks till the result comes, isn't it? So that period only, but after that, then there is panic. Ultimately, karma is there, karma bandhana is there in our life, at least from the Gita's point of view. If we are following the Gita, we are trying to understand and implement the Gita, nowhere in our personality. In relationships also, can we say in a moment of ignorance, I just went out with somebody else. Will we tolerate this from our partner? Moment of ignorance. Ignorance is, where is it bliss then? Nowhere. We're not happy with anybody else. But us, we might sometimes feel, chalo, theek hai, we should, little ignorance should be allowed. But we don't tolerate from anybody else. So it's a pseudo bliss until karma bandhanas come, and tamas is the main reason for ignorance. Tamas itself means ignorance only. Tamaha means darkness, and it's darkness of ignorance. In our life, if we don't take it out, we are going to get trapped in why it's called sansara, mrityu sansara sagara, because life is like that. We get trapped easily without our knowledge. And sometimes it becomes very difficult. Means one person was going through so many relationships again and again, same, like punarapi janama, punarapi marana, like that, punararambha, breakup. Again and again it was happening. Reason? That person was bad, but how many people can he say that person was bad? Somewhere he had to identify, and finally when he had too much, his head was irritated. He said, no more in life I will enter into any relationship. He had got so frustrated. Then he could bring out a change. Then afterwards he understood. He told me it was a very insightful conversation. He said, the problem was not in everybody. The problem was in me only. And I was the one who was doing this everywhere. This is why I was having a pattern. At least now I have identified. I will not let that happen again. That is knowledge. Means it is like you make a mistake. It's okay. Krishna is not like that. It don't make mistakes. But knowingly doing something wrong, that is the biggest problem. That will not allow us to go out. So here, gunas are there. Tamas has a tendency to trap us in ignorance. Just remember, focus on your duty. Tamas cannot hold on to you. But if we don't, tamas will allow us to just, go away from duty. What happened to Arjuna ultimately? The hero. He was supposed to be the, guardian of the Pandavas also. All of them. He was supposed to be the apple of the eye. So many youth, so many other warriors looked up to him. But in a state of tamas, he didn't consider anybody else except himself. He said it was for Draupadi, for everybody, that he wants to give up the battle. When he was alive, they were doing this to Draupadi. What would happen after his death? What would happen to Abhimanyu after his death? What would happen to all the people who came? Why he didn't understand anything? He was a wise person. Tamas completely cloaked his intelligence so much that he said, it's okay if I die just now. It's all right. So this is the game, we can say, of the gunas. Rajas, tamas, sattva, three gunas are there. One guna traps us in ignorance. Another guna traps us in attachment to objects and returns and desires and passion. There is one more, sattva. But sattva also, we are told, is bound by happiness. So we will have to see, means what is there? Something must be there, isn't it? Freedom, if we are talking about freedom, we cannot be happy with something which is binding. So if sattvic is also having something as a binding factor, then there needs to be something which is probably beyond all of these three also. If it is there, what is it? That we will see. That will be the part 2 of this Adhyay. Tomorrow we should be able to complete this Adhyay, where Krishna is going to say about these three gunas and what is probably beyond those three as well, the real freedom. With this, I conclude with a Shanti Mantra. If anybody has any queries, you are most welcome. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyanto. Ma kasyit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishna Mande Jagat Gurum. Hari
Hari
Om.
Om.
Any queries? Most welcome. Hari Om ji. Namaste.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om ji.
Hari Om.
Namaste ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om ji. Namaste. Hari Om. Ji. If any queries are there, most welcome. Or we'll conclude the session. Yes, Shivaji.
Yeah, Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om ji.
Just one. Now, when we talk of the sattvic quality, this verse 11 says that it's in domination, which means it is not 100% sattvic is not the right mix. You have to have a bit of rajas, right? Tamas is out, definitely.
Oh. So
Because-
tamas is some little bit of, if you are in having controlled portion of tamas, then you will go to rest, isn't it? Otherwise, you will not rest only.
Okay.
Means I say actually, if you see the Shanti of Shiva's silence, that enters into tamas in the Srishti. Means that Shanti which is there when it comes in, or if you go into dhyana, what happens sometimes? We go higher sometimes, or sometimes we become like this, isn't it? We just fall asleep. So that tamas it is something, it is what we can say, one aspect of what is the higher consciousness. All three are required. How is it? We'll see the next adhyay. But yes, we have to, because sometimes I will not do this. Many times, actually, when invaders were there, people, instead of taking a weapon, they went and hid inside the temples. Now, what happened to the Kshatriya Dharma then? It was required, isn't it? They would have to be experts in that also. If you see in ancient India, they were Shastra and Shastra, both were known.
Yeah.
But that was a sort of a tamas and sattva combination that I will not let God do this work. God has to do this is the work of God, not my work to protect myself or defend my home, my people. No, there we have to have this stance. But how is it? And is it going to be passionate, driven by emotions, or will it be something else? That we have to see. But these are the gunas.
If you take an example, like if there is a boss who has a lot of affection for his subordinates, and
who has a lot of
affection, I mean, he treats his subordinates very well, but if one of the subordinates does something which is a big mistake, and the boss rebukes him,
yes,
there's no feeling of hatred. They rebukes him so that he doesn't repeat it, or he sets it right, or something like that. Is that your rajas quality coming out, or is it just
how he rebukes is very important, Shivaji. How he rebukes is very important, because in that rebuking, if he adds passion, he adds emotions, then that subordinate might leave the company the very same day only.
Okay. So temporary anger, okay, yeah, temporary.
It has to be controlled. We will see in the next adhyay, in this part of the next adhyay.
Okay.
For me, I have like tendency, for me, in factory, we workers all, I talk softly only. Guruji was like, how is this person going to interact with everybody? And one day there was one person, the CCTV camera person had come from another city, and he worked for 2 days trying to fit it, everything. And he made a complete mess of everything. All the wires were bad. He was using inferior quality work. And suddenly I caught him doing something which was a fraudulent activity. So I was offering him tea. I was looking after everything, and I was very patient with him. But when I saw he's taken me for granted, I got very angry, and I've never told anybody get out. But I said, get out. I had never told this. And I told him immediately on the spot. Then I was feeling guilty. What have I done? So I called my teacher and I asked him, I'm sorry, I told like this. He said, it's a very good news. For the first time you have said this. I am very happy hearing this. So sometimes probably we need to have this aspect. But how much of it is causing a fluctuation on the inside? Because rajas, we have seen, kama esha, krodha esha, rajo guna samudbhava. Suddenly in rajas, a wise man becomes a fool. Just when rajas overpowers the person. So there is what we can say, fine line. We call it gunatit actually. I just told it already. It will come tomorrow. But how does one become beyond these? Then these are all just modes. It's like
so when you feel that sense of guilt, you said you felt guilty for having said that.
Yes.
Is that a rajasic tendency that's come out, or because
No,
that
this is something for me, it was a new experience, so I was unaware. I was
Hmm.
ignorant of what it was. We can call it tamas also, that it is required to shout. I didn't know that. So I asked my teacher, and then he shared it to me. Ki, nahi, you have to learn. You have to understand. So, but this is something which we will see tomorrow a little bit in detail. But
Right.
all of these are important, definitely, Shivaji. Yes.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari
ji. Hari Om.
Hari.
Hari Om. Namaste. Hari Om. If there are no queries, I will conclude. Again, happy Ashadi also to everybody. Ashadi Ekadashi today. Jai Shri Krishna. Hari Om.